Fred's not here. So you want to appoint Carol?
Well, we don't have anything we're gonna be voting on tonight. So,
Just setting.
yeah, we're just, if we were.
Second the motion.
But if there was something that we were voting on, absolutely, I would appoint you, Carol.
Okay. So, regarding correspondence, I do apologize. There is a problem with the email server. So you may get a failure notice if you send an email to me. I may get 7 emails from you. And then you need a response. If you have my phone number, please text me, to confirm that something was received, if it is, time sensitive, especially or important. There is a train with Nan on Thursday, so that's Thursday, May 2nd at 5 p.m. It's going to be to go over the form checklist and the process that she envisioned. I am also working with the tech committee to have that via Zoom and recorded, so that if you're not able to attend, or you'd like to watch the recording later on, it will be available. I have also started to incorporate Dropbox, so once again, hopefully that's moving away from emails, and the Dropbox will be updated as things are received. So hopefully that provides kind of a more constant update through the process.
So one thing I would ask the board, members and open vote is, we have done some updates on the website recently with some others coming. So for example, I've downloaded the new, application form with the checklist that's on it. It would be good if everybody were to, go to the website and just go through these forms. Either Jay or Colleen had also downloaded the EAF short form. So now those forms are updated, but if you happen to be talking to a member of the public or an applicant, you with them. And the cool thing about them is that they are downloadable and fillable PDFs. So you can tell an applicant, just download it, fill it out, and it can be submitted electronically or printed.
Yes, is that a state law or is that a national?
I believe it's in state board, right? Yeah.
I see it here.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anything else?
I'm working with one other applicant to be on the agenda for this month. Also, I'd ask everyone to check your calendars so we can set a meeting, because it's more.
We'll set that at the end of the meeting. Okay, thank you, Jay. Just to do a quick conflicts check, does anyone on the board feel they have a conflict with any of the discussion or applicants tonight? Okay, thank you. Okay, Mickey, why don't we invite you to present whatever you would like to share with us?
Okay, so I'm Chris, actually.
Oh, Chris, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Chris, I know that.
Yeah. that's fine.
You feel like a Mickey.
Kind of, it's only sometimes, so we might as well. Anyhow, Steve, thanks for having us back. we're looking at a block project where we'd like to install that gunite pool. Near the man-made pond, we are within the 150-foot Ankrum watershed setback that we have. We're asking for a 76-foot variance from that. We've gone through DC wetlands, Army Corps of Engineer, and we are outside of all of their buffer zones. The only remaining buffer that we are in is the one instituted by the town of Ankrum, which is the watershed. But it's also a non-significant habitat as mapped by Ankrum as well.
It's a conflict.
Non-significant habitat, so there's no wetland habitat, no animal life. It was a man-made pond and it's currently lawn there, so there's no habitat that we're gonna be disturbing.
Yes, Carol, we have a significant habitat map that was established by the CAC. That in fact was part of this deck, but one of the things that when we're near wetlands, we look at, and if it's significant habitat, it might change the conversation that we have about granting variance. In this case, it doesn't.
Yeah, and since we met last time, the DEC had remapped the wetlands in 2022. And they're actually other side of the pond now, so we're about 260 feet away from the flagged wetlands.
There are two boundaries that I understand. There is the DC line boundary.
Correct.
There's the national boundary.
Correct.
So there are two boundaries. The DEC wetland boundary, from my understanding of the map that I saw, there was a new one, is way on the side of the pond.
Correct.
That would be, and then the 150-foot buffer zone comes in the middle of the pond.
Correct.
Correct. Then there is national wetland boundary, and understanding that is the edge of the pond.
Correct.
Okay. With that edge of the pond, after that, then the pool comes in to the buffer zone, the 100-foot buffer zone, and the 150-foot buffer zone. Am I right or wrong?
There is no buffer zone on this wetland because the NWI is all related, regulated by the national wetlands are regulated by, the Army Corps of Engineers, and it stops at the edge of the body. So there is no setback from there on the national wetlands.
Okay,
The only buffer we are left in is the watershed, which is the 100 feet from the edge. That's the one we're seeking.
but I don't understand the buffer to be, maybe this may be the problem. I understand the buffer to be. So if this is the edge of this, the boundary of the whatever it is, wetland or pond, the buffer zone would be 150 feet from that edge.
Correct.
That's a buffer zone. There may not be any buffer growing there, but that's the buffer zone. Am I correct?
Well, there's two different things. There's a regulated area, which is the 150 feet. So that's your regulated zone. There's a setback, is what that is, off of the edge of the pond. The buffer zone,
So, Article one, does it use the regulated zone? But I mean, vocabulary becomes important.
so the buffer zone then becomes, with the watershed distinction, they want a 25 vegetative buffer. Only in areas of significant habitat, which we are not in. So that becomes buffer zone. I think we were confusing the terms a little bit. They are interchangeable in a way with the
Yeah.
wetland buffer like that. It's really just a regulated zone in which we need to seek permission to do things.
I think that's a town setback too.
The wetland, the watershed is unique to this.
50 feet.
That's the town setback, yes.
But
It's from open water, they call it from open.
Correct.
okay, I have to work through.
Yeah, we do have to show you on the plan.
Yes.
And we did work with, Ed, correct? Yes, the zoning enforcement officer, and he read through the town code, and because it's mapped as non-significant, we do not have to do that 25-foot vegetative buffer.
The 25-foot vegetative buffer is PEC, correct?
No, that's, town of Ankrum.
Town that we have to put that in, okay.
Right.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah, there it is. Well, the good news is,
Its entire yard behind it and around the pond, and the
Right.
pond, grass. it sets up, I would guess, the whole part on the other side of the pond probably starts out at a foot to 2 foot. So maybe a more grade elevation of actual swamp that's on the other end.
Do you know this?
I was probably, well, I lived there 30-something years ago, and 2 years ago.
Okay. And there are 3 other properties on the street which have the same setup with the constructed ponds, non-severe habitat with the very similar with the long. Right.
I don't want to take your time, but I realize I have to learn.
Yeah.
There is an outlet, I don't know if it's permanent, outlet, but there is an outlet, and I stepped in it. Sharon, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
What moves I did.
Can't say all the years I've never seen that swamp ever get up over that for 1 year to come in.
Right.
No, there's a drop into the swamp, which is very interesting, that must have been loaded with waves.
Well, I mean, all in that swamp.
Nice.
We just swamp well.
Yeah, so not also change with the project, it's still a 16-foot wide by 50-foot long pool, mainly constructed at a grade, so that we're at the same elevation as the deck. So very limited disturbance even around the pool, upon the finish. We're looking to increase a little bit of that space, no paving, at grade.
Any, other questions from anyone on the board?
Yeah, I think I might have, I think you were asked this before, and I wanted to know about, I worked with some pools many years ago, old style, ancient, with backwashing, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
Took lime sometimes. Now, your salt brine pool, they don't require as much of that. I mean, it's pretty steep down from the house to the pond, so
Right.
what is the product is there a backwash product that comes out of that, or no?
No, so the backwashing is involving the filter, so that's your filtering media. There's sand or D, which require the backwash because you're cleaning out the media as your backwash. Use a cartridge system, so everything self-contained. So we're never emptying water out on a weekly basis. No, you just don't have it to go wherever it goes, no. But it's better anyways, honestly. You keep it contained, you're not backwash, not, adding water, wasting water, anything like that. And then the chlorine is just all made within the pool, so it all stays within the pool. And it's just table salt, so that gets put in the pool and mixed into a solution, which makes the green when it ionizes, to create the sodium chloride.
So how do you regulate this water evaporation?
Mhm.
But this water is never gonna be let out of the pool, it's only contained in the pool.
Only at the very end of the season for winterizing, when we draw down the water a bit.
So you let that out into the soil, is that it?
We generally we turn everything off, like off for about 10 days, and then that amount of time, the water becomes dechlorinated, because it breaks down with the
What
UV.
about salt?
It's very low with the salt, it's about 3,500 parts per million, so same as like sweat or tears. It's not brackish, and as far as evaporating goes, this does have an automatic cover, so that'll contain a lot of water in there.
Okay. So, it bothers me because this is already a degraded area, but you said it's been degraded for over 35
Well,
years.
you called it degraded, but it was, man-made and it was a yard around that pond, it was a man-made pond.
But it was a wetland originally, am I correct?
That was before my time, because I knew the father of the son.
Oh, okay.
The mother, yeah, before time died, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there used to be more things on the right where there trails and permanently set up down there.
And then again, that's why, depends on the breeding population out there. The water lines.
So, on the, how much energy does this pool use? It'll be heat, right?
It will be heated, yes.
And how much energy will that use during the season?
It all depends on the temperature in the air, but with that cover, it does keep a lot of heat and it also gives you some solar heating aspect of it. So it's hard to say necessarily like how much we'll be considering the season. And then as far as the pump itself, it's a variable speed pump, so it's more energy efficient. Every single piece of this pool will be energy rated. And used by the New York State Energy Bill.
Are they thinking of putting any renewable energy sources like panels to heat it?
I'm not sure, they haven't mentioned anything about it.
There's no plans for that.
Not,
Most of them, they're pretty efficient.
yes, they're much more efficient than they used to be, yeah. So,
Any other questions from any members of the board? Okay, so Chris, what will happen next is tonight we will decide when the next meeting is gonna be. Be a meeting where the public will be invited to comment on the application.
sure,
Following that opportunity for public comment, we will close public comment. This board will discuss and vote on the application. So
okay,
next meeting, you'll have your answer.
excellent, I appreciate it.
And that's the way the process works.
Yes, okay, great, thank you very much,
Thank you.
enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. Okay, next order of business is new business, an application that everyone has hopefully seen in their email. And that is the application of Fisher Rosenblatt. Area.
No, Fischler and Rosen.
I'm not.
Not opening up that today.
No. I'm not in eye contact with anybody.
We just had Lola and Jeff.
So we'll just invite you up and present what it is you're looking for.
So I think the long and short of what we're looking for is a variance, a wetland variance.
National wetlands variance.
Right. Now, I don't know how much background you need. We have a 900 square foot house. Him and his brother are way too big for that. We'd like to add a second story using the existing foundation, not expanding the footprint. Essentially doubling the square footage with a second floor. We've been through the process of getting the septic system tested and signed off on for 3 bedrooms. We've had a structural analysis saying that essentially the foundation can accommodate the second story. And where we are now is a little bit of a ping pong ball between the wetlands people and the Army Corps of Engineers. Wetlands people told us we didn't need a permit, and all this information has just come up in the last couple of days that we didn't need a permit. The Army Corps of Engineers initially told us to go to the wetlands, find that information out.
When you say wetland, you're in the DEC?
Yes,
Yes, our property has a piece of the national wetlands boundary that crawls up a hill that it doesn't seem like it should crawl up because of gravity and the way that the border stretches the rest of the lake. We spoke with Ed, and he said you should reach out to the Army Corps of Engineers to verify the information, give them your topographical survey. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we reached out to the Army Corps of Engineers, referred us to the Fish and Wildlife Department of the DEC, controls that mapping and edit those boundaries. The DEC then looked at it and said, we don't think that this, after review, is actually on your property, no permits are needed. But it seems like we now need to bounce that, and we have done this already, bounce the information back to the Army Corps of Engineers to verify they feel the same way to allow us to proceed on a permit from them. But it seems to be in mapping that's crawling up onto one of the higher parts of our property that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to anybody. We've been bouncing back between.
Where is that piece? Did you visit? I was there, yes, Sunday, yes, so you'll know probably.
I went behind the house, up to Adam's property, that old grade, going back to the road.
Oh, really? I thought, you guys saw it over
The
here.
boundary in front of it is actually
Yeah.
inward of the lake.
Yeah.
This.
Oh, wow.
The western was towards the property.
Sorry, but that's where it's all rocky.
That's the deck.
Come back. Growing grasses, so dry.
And that's the highest point of the property.
Wow.
We think it did correct mapping.
The DEC said they thought it was incorrect, right?
Yeah, so that's up high.
Yeah, yeah. So it's almost everybody.
Yeah. Exactly, and from that point on, up by the road, it
It
just
seems to.
grades
agree with the back-
downward.
It's just.
Agency bureaucracy.
So even if it is incorrect, it's on the map, and as a result of that, the applicant is required to, in order to the building, to ask for 136 foot variance to the 150 foot setback because of that. Now, if it comes back that the Army Corps of Engineers agrees with everybody else that it's incorrect, then what we didn't want to do is not have tonight's meeting in case the Army Corps of Engineers didn't make a change. And that would simply put off the applicant's opportunity for a month or two. So, and a reason for still being here tonight. Did I explain that correctly?
Perfectly, better than I did.
So you have an email for approval from DEC, it says not ours, so that.
The permit is required. I also have an email from the DEC saying, or from the Army Corps of Engineers saying, we can't change this mapping. Reach out to the DEC.
The DEC does nothing
DEC, Fish and Wildlife controls this map.
now.
And that, an ecologist from that department said, after the review, the boundary is not encroaching on your property and you do not permit. But now I forwarded that email to the Corps of Engineers.
Hear back, but they didn't send out a site visit.
We requested a site visit.
And
And
this
that
was
was
their
their answer.
response.
Well, we will move forward and.
Point of order. The answer from the DEC get easier on the DEC, but not easier on the applicant.
Yeah.
Any other questions from? So the process here is the same as it was with the previous applicant. What we'll do is we'll decide in a minute when our next meeting is gonna be. At that meeting, we'll have public to comment. Jay will be sending out notices to all papers to let them know about the meeting, people have a chance to comment. And then at that, after we close the public portion of the meeting, this board will debate your application and vote on it, with you here, so you'll have an answer, next month.
Can I ask a question? If we do happen to get a response from
Army Corps of Engineers.
our Corps of Engineers that says it was an error, then what happens?
Then you would need to send Jay and the board an updated map that clearly shows that is no longer on it.
So they have to come and do another mapping of the property, basically?
However they choose to do it, I don't know. I suspect the odds of that happening in the next 30 to 35 days are pretty slim.
Right.
Hence the reason it makes sense for you to go through this process.
Right.
And then if after the fact, it doesn't impact anything. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you all.
Okay, Rosenblatt.
Remember that.
Well, come on, I balanced it.
Yes, you did a very good job. Good night, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Well, the next order of business will be to decide on the date for the meeting. Which, Jay, you and I talked about being, actually having it on Tuesday after Memorial Day. I think we were chatting, would that be an option for people?
What was it again? Sorry.
Isn't that what we talked about, Jay? Doing it Tuesday after Memorial?
Talked about a couple things,
If I could misremember it.
if that works for people, that would be Tuesday, May 28th at 7 p.m.
The other option is to go out, another week to the following Monday. If that say works, I just should get it done as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Pennsylvania.
Yeah, is that when you're going?
I just do that week and before Memorial Day. Was that Memorial Day comes in?
It's 27.
Memorial is 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're going to week before on Monday.
Yeah.
Right, Jan, let's shoot for the 28th.
Yeah.
You need a motion for that? No.
Yeah,
Let's formalize it.
I'll make a motion that we set our next meeting as the 28th of May, it's the day after,
at 7 p.m.
7 P.M. Well, yeah.
Seconded,
I said,
okay, all in favor, yeah.
Okay, so, now also motions for each of the public hearings.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Say
We need to make a motion for each of the public hearings to be held on that night too. Make a public hearing and we'll make a motion for.
I'll make a motion that we do the public hearing for that date on both of our applications. for block
Separate them.
Okay. I make the motion that we do the public hearing for the block application.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you do the next one.
Okay. All right, Ron, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we, for the meeting for Ms. Rosenblatt.
Yeah, Fisher and Rosenblatt.
Fisher and Rosenblatt, and that again is gonna be on 28th on all these,
Yes.
same night?
yes.
Yes.
On 28th of May.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.
Now, Blake has to get notified about these, that meeting, right?
Yes, both meetings.
Now, do they have a certain amount of time right here before? I don't remember something like that.
Yeah, no,
Like 3 weeks or something.
It's,
Is it 10 days? Not.
What was your?
I was, the adjoining neighbors are 14 days have to be notified.
Okay, I knew it was something that had to be notified before.
Yeah.
So many days before the meeting, but.
yeah, there's a written notification, that goes to neighbors and then there's a general notification. Okay. Any other? Anything else? Okay, get a motion to close the meeting.
Well, I have just one of the zoning law, that Carol put out. I just wanted to verify, everything on this was totally authority to the planning board. What authority do we have on any of this to change it? Like, there was one article down below that says, waiver shall be explicitly requested by the applicant in writing and expressly granted only by writing.
So,
I mean, we have, what rights do we have as ZBA?
well, there's a difference between a waiver and a variance. And that's the key here. So under state law, the zoning board is the only board that's got the, grant a variance, which is what the applicant applied for, the necessary waiver. So think about the differences as a variance says, okay, you still got all the law, but we're gonna, you don't have to live by the letter. The other one would, a waiver would be, planning board would say, the law doesn't apply. Would be selective, which is highly frowned on. And even though the planning board does have that ability to do that, it's not something that is to be taken like that as long as the rest of the planning board using waivers is not a good idea at all. But the applicant did not ask for it. They asked for a variance, and we're the only ones that grant variance.
Okay,
So,
because
what is the difference to the applicant? Whether he asks for, that it might be easier to get a variance than waiver, because you said waivers are very difficult to get.
No, I don't think that, I don't know that they're difficult, Harold, it's just that, at least according to what I've heard Dan say in the past, they are, it's not something to be taken lightly, because basically what you're doing is it's almost like spot zoning. You're telling an applicant, okay, the law doesn't apply to you in this case. Whereas we'll tell the applicant, the law certainly still doesn't apply to you, but we're gonna not have to live up to the letter.
I just said the same thing about that, but.
the problem is with eliminating precedent. I mean, you know, if everyone's playing by by the town law, otherwise somebody can come in and say, well, listen, you didn't apply it to them. Why? You know, whereas we get the variance.
Could do the same thing with us.
That's why somebody can come back, yeah,
I
I'm wrong.
You hope that justified, that's all,
I've never heard anybody applying for a, what's the word, sorry, wait, how I can drop it.
I don't say,
Since we actually do a couple, I didn't want.
I want sometime the towns and the counties, whatever, to redo zoning.
no.
What's he doing? Yeah. Harold's working on that.
Things change.
That's what I'm just saying, you know,
We're working on it because of the comp plan of 2019. We're 4 years working on it. I realized just today, 4 years
Wow.
working on it. So we got another 6 months, so hopefully another 6 months, not a year. But if there's another comp plan, then it's gotta be done again.
yeah,
And in between, Ed came up with some stuff, Jay has spoken to me for some things that we'll look at. Nothing is perfect,
right.
so you just gotta keep looking at it.
It is the enemy of good.
Yeah.
Okay, can I get a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, in favor? Meeting is hereby closed.
Was honestly first down. First to ask.